Hello and welcome. Let's discuss today's important current affairs. Prime Minister Modi have inaugurated Vizhinjam port in Kerala, and he emphasized the requirement of development of port economy and how a port economy is going to help not only state but entire India and in fact entire region to make the economic advancement. So in this context, let's understand what term port economy means. So port economy means when a port which is developed by the government or by the private sector, it is going to lead to the economic development of that region. Basically, for example, suppose a port is there. So in the case of port is there, then many import and export based industries can be located near to the port. So because of having of a port nearby, the cost of transportation is going to decrease. And with this, many of the companies will try to run their operations nearby the port area. For example, Guangzhou, Shanghai. All these are port cities. In fact, Shanghai is the biggest terminal port in the world. Means in terms of dealing in the containers, it is the biggest port in the world. So by this, if we are going to have a good ports in our country, it will accelerate our economic development. This is all about port economy. Regarding Vizhinjam port, it is first dedicated trans-container shipment port. So here in this context, trans-shipment of containers is very important to understand. Suppose a company from India want to export certain things from Europe to Europe. So in order to export certain things to Europe, they need a ship. And at present, we do not have a small ship, we have a big ship. But that big ship is going to have only half of the container of this company. So this ship can have container from India and it will suppose go to Greece. Okay. And another Indian company also want to export certain goods to France. So the same ship is going to load the goods which is bound to Greece as well as goods bound to France. And when it will reach to Greece, it is going to offload certain goods there and it can go to France. But if at Greece want to export certain thing to France, now again this container is going to load certain goods from Greece and it is going to France. So in this way, transshipments are known for shipments of those containers from one area to another area. In India, we do have ports who are doing this container shipment. But till then now, we was not having a dedicated port which is looking for only the containers transshipments. So in this context, Vizhinjam port in Kerala is one of the significant development in India. Cosmos 482. Cosmos 482 is a dedicated Venus mission. It was launched by former Soviet Union in 1972. It was launched in 1972, but it is in news right now. Now, why it is in news right now? Because when Soviet Union have went for this Venus mission, Cosmos 482, in 1972, actually that mission failed. Though that spacecraft was uplifted from the Earth, but it failed to come out of Earth's orbit. And it is still rotating in the Earth's orbit, that is higher elliptical orbit. So in the Earth's higher elliptical orbit, it is still rotating. It is still rotating in the Earth's higher elliptical orbit for past 53 years. But now this higher elliptical orbit in past 53 years gradually tilting towards the Earth. So despite being higher elliptical orbit, it is gradually reaching towards the Earth. And it is an expectation by mid of this May or end of the first week of this May, it is going to enter in the Earth. And the weight of this spacecraft is of 500 kilogram. And it is nothing new when the space debris are going to enter back in the Earth. But this is quite dangerous because this is a part of Venus mission. Means this spacecraft was designed in such a way so that it can resist all kind of the resistance or the force it is going to face when it is going to enter in the Venus orbit, highly gaseous orbit. So it can easily survive even the Earth atmosphere. And when it is going to enter in the Earth atmosphere, it is in speculation it is going to hit somewhere around 51.3 degree latitude north and south. Somewhere it is going to hit. And if it is going to hit, the speed will be more than 150 miles per hour. So with very high speed, if it is going to hit the Earth, then it may cause substantive damage. So this is why the efforts are being made in order to prevent any kind of the tragedy. In this context, we know that there are many countries who have developed anti-satellite system, including India. So as a last resort, if it is not going to work and the hit of that aircraft in the Earth atmosphere, it is going to be inevitable, then in such case, the country who is in that region might request to that country who is having the anti-satellite weapon system to hit and destroy. Otherwise, there will be a possibility of huge human loss. Germany's political party, AfD, Alternative for Germany, is in news. According to their internal security agency, they have reported this political party is extremist in the nature. So, by being referred or designated as a extremist political party, German government now have a right to put a surveillance as well as data collection of that political party. Why it is significant? Because when recently elections happened in the Germany, ADF was the second largest party. And in past few years, Europe have seen the trend in the rise of far-right parties. And ADF is a far-rightist party. So in that context, the two things are emerging. If government of Germany is going to put surveillance, it is going to give too much attention to it and it is going to get more momentum on the ground level. And if they will not put the surveillance, maybe that party can involve further in the extremist activities. So this is the dilemma faced by the German government. Anyways, in this context, it is important for all of you to know that what is the meaning of far right. In fact, going to understand far right extremists, there are certain words you have to understand. First of all, understand what is the meaning of left and what is the meaning of right. So this word came into the picture at the time of French Revolution. So those French political leaders or the members of National Assembly of France, they are in the favor of king and his rules. They remain seated in the right side, whereas those who left the right side and they went to the opposite side, they are known as left. So the term popularized as left. So obviously they are left, then whosoever is not left, they become right. So over the period of time, the political ideologies developed. Those political parties who favors government's intervention in the economy, they talk about community and they talk about for each and everything and government interventions, they are called as left parties. Whereas those political parties who more favor individual rights, private property, less government's intervention in the market, and more focus on private economy, they are called as right parties. Fine. So this is how the left parties and right parties are classified. Many times when it is about nationalism, so it is generally right parties are being associated with the nationalism, cultural nationalism, religion-based nationalism. So right parties are most of the time they are put as a parties who favor the nationalism. Fine, nationalism. Now those who are too much insisting on these cultural aspects, private parties, private property aspects, they are called as far rightist party. Means in order to achieve their target, they are ready to shift the political stand of the country at present. For example, many parties, Le Pen's parties in France, ADF in Germany, they are having hawkish attitude towards the migrants. So those who are migrating, they are against this is the country for Germans. It is not for the migrants. To some extent, we can also say that Donald Trump's ideas are matching with the far rightists, and this is why Donald Trump's party, Donald Trump himself, they appreciate Italy's party, the present Prime Minister of Italy. They favored ADF, they favors Le Pen's party in France. So in this way, they are called as far rightist, who are ready to change certain laws, certain regulations in order to focus on cultural, nationalistic aspect. They are called as far rightist. Now let's understand what is the meaning of extremist. So in this context, you can understand the term extremist in comparison. So extremist, militant, and terrorist. So extremists are those who are ready to take certain radical steps. For example, changing the constitution. They are ready to change the constitution in order to achieve their goals. Fine. And they can go for violent protest also. Violent protest, changing in the constitution, changing in the laws in order to achieve those goals. They are called extremist. Whereas, when they are ready to take up the arms in their hand and they can fight against state machineries, armed forces, in order to achieve their political goals and agenda, then they are categorized as militant. Whereas, when in order to achieve their political goals, they are not just targeting the man in the uniform, they are majorly focusing on targeting on a common people, then they are called as terrorist. And this is why when British Broad Corporation, I'll prefer to call them British Narrow Corporation, but they are known as British Broad Corporation. So this British Broad Corporation, BBC, they have reported Pahalgam attack as a militant attack. Government of India said that, excuse me, it is not a militant attack, it is a terrorist attack. How you can classify as a militant attack? They have killed the innocent people from point blank range. Such kind of the person cannot be a militant, not an extremist. He can be categorized only as a terrorist, and he should get the treatment, what treatment is given to the terrorist. Fine. So in this context, for all the people, it is very important to understand the definition of extremist, definition of militant, and the definition of terrorist. And sometimes those people who have sympathy for those who are actually terrorizing, those people who are sympathizer of these terrorists, they try to call them as a militant. So it is our responsibility and duty to understand the difference between these three things. Extremists can go for extra constitutional measures. Fine. Militant is going to up the arms against state and its machineries. Whereas a terrorist do not have any kind of the moral or ethics. They are going to target even innocent person, and they have the mechanism of terrorizing the people. Fine. So in this way, we have to categorize. So anyways, this German ADF, that is Alternative for Germany, it is recognized as a extremist by the German government. Adanis are again in news. This time not Gautam Adani, the chairman of Adani Group, his nephew Pranav Adani is in news. And SEBI have put an allegation of insider trading on Pranav Adani. Though this news is not too much significant from the exam point of view, for understanding point of view, but here it is important to understand the meaning of insider trading. I'll explain this thing with the example of Pawan Adani's case. In 2021, SE Energy, it's a renewable energy company, and this SE Energy was purchased by Adani Group by paying $3.5 billion, and it was a massive amount paid on that date. In fact, it was the biggest deal in the renewable energy sector till then, 2021. Fine. So now imagine you got this news. The deal is going to be announced by SE Energy, and Adani Group is going to announce this thing by 21st of May 2021. But you got the information that this is going to happen on 18th of May 2021. Deal is going to happen 21st of May, but you got this information on 18th of May. And you know that the day the deal is going to be announced, there will be sudden rise in the price of SE Energy shares because it is going to be taken over by Adani Group. Now, because you have this information, and suppose the price of the share of SE Energy at present, it is 100 rupees. And you know that once the news will be broke out, the share price may rise from 100 to 120. So by this, you have spent 1 crore rupees or 50 crore rupees and you have purchased the shares. 50 crore rupees you have spent and you have purchased the shares. On 21st of May, both companies have announced regarding their deal, and with this deal, they are going to merge, and with this deal, the price of the share is going to rise. And if the price is going to rise, you are going to make good amount of money. So because of having the inside info, fine, because you're a nephew of whom? You are nephew of Gautam Adani. So being as a nephew of Gautam Adani, you was somehow you got this news, and that news is helping you in this case. So in this way, you are able to make lot of money by using unethical practice, and this is called insider trading. So first insider trading was done by Vibhishan. Fine, he was an insider, he was providing all the info in that case. Fine. So in this way, I hope you have understood what insider trading means. And insider trading, anyways, any kind of the insider trading is illegal in India. Whereas in some countries, some sort of insider trading are allowed. Fine, whereas some sort of insider trading is not allowed. But in India, insider trading is completely prohibited. And SEBI, in his investigation, they found that Pawan Adani was involved in this insider trading, and that is why they have put a charge on him, and this is why it is in news. MICE tourism, MICE, meeting, incentive, conference, exhibition. The minister have informed that we are going to be the leader of MICE tourism in upcoming years. We have successfully organized G20 meeting, and apart from many other meetings, exhibitions, it are happening in India, and gradually India is going to become a preferred destination. You have seen that many times, many this conference where the world leaders are going to assemble. So generally it happens in the different countries because it is considered that country like India, they do not have a capacity to hold and execute such kind of a high profile meetings. So in that context, minister have informed that we are working in such a way so that the MICE tourism is going to increase in India, and we are also working on such a ways where the more and more exhibitions and conference are going to be held in India. In this way, when these things are going to happen in India. For example, when the G20 meeting was happened, many of the G20 representatives was provided a tour to many of the cultural destinations in Delhi and nearby Agra and Jaipur. And that has created a lot of enthusiasm among those people who have attended. And of course, when you see something good and you enjoy that thing, you are going to share with the people. And then other people are also interested to do the same thing. So in this way, developing good infrastructure and providing all those facilities for the purpose of conference, meetings, incentives, all these things definitely going to increase the tourism. So in this context, this MICE tourism came into the picture. So though the tourism can be used in the tourist related things, but the word should be clear to you, MICE tourism. Dr. 𝐃𝐨𝐻𝐿𝐵 Natarajan. He was born in Chennai, now working in University of California, and he has developed one of the remarkable thing which is going to help many of the people. He has developed brain-computer interface. He and his team has published a research paper, and in that research paper, they have informed about their new invention, brain-computer interface. Imagine a paralyzed person who is not able to move any of his body. He is able to listen, he is able to hear, but he is not capable of even speaking or not able to move any part of his body. Now, you have did a remarkable thing. What 𝐃𝐨𝐻𝐿𝐵 Natarajan team have did, 𝐃𝐨𝐻 Natarajan and his team developed a computer interface which is implanted in the surface of the brain. And after implanting this sensor in the surface of the brain, they ask the patient to move your hand, for example. Now move your leg, move your this part, that part. In this way, they started asking many questions to the patient. And when patient, even though he was not able to move because he's paralyzed, he's not able to move. But when he got this information, his brain started processing that information. But because body is paralyzed, then the process is not completed. But by this 𝐃𝐨𝐻 Natarajan team was able to gather the data when the instruction was given by a human to his brain, this activity need to be performed. How the brain is acting. How brain is acting. So by this, they have collected a vital data and they have put that data in the sensor. Now this sensor is connected with the artificial intelligence. So now the sensor which is connected with the artificial intelligence, now this artificial intelligence in the present age, they are generative AI. So in this way, this generative artificial intelligence which receives the data from the center, it got trained. Training is being provided. Now, if the training is provided, now if this person have an artificial hand, if it is having artificial hand, now when a person want to move his hand, he want to move his hand, and now he is assisted by a mechanical device. Now, once he is going to give instruction to his brain is going to function, and the function of the brain, it is already mapped in this sensor, brain-computer interface, BCI, brain-computer interface is going to hold this thing, and the instruction which brain has received, brain has provided, not received, brain has provided to the sensor. Now sensor is going to provide the same data to this artificial intelligence based machine, and then the person is able to move his hand. So even you are going to provide a movement of a hand or all the body parts, even a paralyzed person. So this is why it is a very remarkable discovery by Dr. 𝐃𝐨𝐻𝐿𝐵 Natarajan and his team. Brain-computer interface.